We never want to put a child in a box or label them too early when it comes to personality type. We know that type is innate. We know that we have a predisposition for a particular type, just like left hand and right hand. But we also know that type development can be helped or it can be hindered by a child's environment. So we don't typically give a child a personality assessment like a Myers-Briggs until around the 7th grade, until around middle school, when their true identity is formed and you can really see the patterns in their predisposition. But there are some things that you can do, some clues that you can look for that can help you get a really good idea of what their type is. Of course, it's very important for you to know your personality type as well and understand type dynamics. And if you understand type dynamics, you'll understand how to look for those clues. So the first one is watch what energizes them. So if your child is energized by that social play, having friends over, wanting to be in a setting where there's other kids around a lot, and that gives them energy, that is an extrovert. We know that. But if they're also if they're energized by solo play, by quiet play, and they're comfortable with that, and they can do that for long periods of time, that is an introverted thing. So watch where their energy comes from. Listen to how they process information. So a sensing child will ask a million questions. Now we know all children ask lots of questions, but listen to how and what those questions are. Questions that are detail oriented, facts. They want the details and the facts. That is very much of a sensing thing. Where the intuitive child's going to do the what ifs, and they make up dream scenarios and they use their imagination and they're asking, well, if we do this, what about this? And what will happen then? So it's not so much about the details of everything, it's the what ifs. So that's sensing and intuitive, and that's how they take in information. The third one is decision making, and feeling type children will be very in tune to other people's feelings. They will want harmony. They will want to make sure that everybody is happy, and they want to get along with everybody that's around them for the most part. So that's a feeling type. Where the thinking type, they're very logical, and they're going to look at the consequences, and they're going to be very respectful usually of your consequences and take those pretty seriously. So that's a thinking type. And the last one is, how does your child structure their environment and their world around them? So the judging children are going to be very planned. They're going to like that routine. They know their routine and they want to stick to that routine. And they're comfortable with that. That's a safe space for them. Where the P, the perceiving child, is going to be very open-ended, wants to do something different all the time. They also might give you a little pushback on routine and consequences because they don't want to be boxed in to doing the same thing all the time. So the same thing that applies to adults also applies to children, but we have to take into account that their true personality type and identity has not been completely formed yet, and their environment, they are subjected to that. Whereas an adult, we can change our environment if we need to. That child is subjected to that. So we have to look at those clues and things to watch for to understand their personality type. So you know that I have taught type development, personal development, career development for over 30 years in the college setting, and have worked with families and small children. So I do know the benefit of you knowing your personality, you understanding type dynamics, so then you in turn can help your child. So why does this matter? Why is this important? Because so many parents, when they're raising their children, are trying to change or mold their child's personality because they don't understand the innateness of a personality type. And so they will say, well, I'm trying to get them to be more routine based, or I'm trying to get them to be more, social. I'm trying to get them to think more logically. And those are things that maybe that child at an early age is not going to be capable of doing at that time, because they are going by their own predisposition in their brain. Just like when they pick up that crayon with the dominant hand, which one is dominant is the one that's going to win, right? The same is true with personality type. So it's so important for parents when you're working with your children, you're raising your children, that no, you're not going to know exactly what their personality type is, but you can start giving that grace to your child, if you will, and understanding to your child, and shaping them and molding them in a ways that is conducive to their type rather than trying to change them.